Welcome to the show. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, and be sure to click on the description below so that you can be put on our mailing list so that you won't miss any of our videos. Believe it or not, the great Eldersky, the sage from South Central, the Prince of Pico Union, Don Lorenzo, has been demonetized by YouTube. Maybe it's something that we said. Also remember, the first half hour of our show you see for free, gratis, because that's how we roll. The second half, however, you have to be a subscriber. If you're a subscriber, stay tuned, you won't miss anything. If you're not, how dare you freeload? Make sure you become a subscriber, epictv.com. That way you won't miss the second half of the show. Now, unless you're hiding under a rock, you of course know that Paul Pelosi, the husband of Nancy Pelosi, was attacked. Someone broke into the Pelosi home. Nancy Pelosi was in Washington, D.C., and apparently the mentally deranged attacker was looking for Nancy Pelosi. Watch this.
We are learning more about the suspect in this case. We spoke with his estranged family in Canada and tracked down his last known address in Berkeley. NBC Bay Area's Alyssa Gort joins us now from the Pelosi residence in San Francisco. Alyssa.
Well, Raj, as Cheryl mentioned, San Francisco police actually told us tonight that David DePape is still in the hospital, but when he's released, he will be booked on felony charges. And while police haven't shared a motive yet, they did say that DePape was shouting out, "Where is Nancy?" while he was still inside the house.
So, since then, apparently the motive was to find Nancy Pelosi, to attack Nancy Pelosi for reasons we're still a little uncertain of. Here is the 911 video dispatch.
Northern 4-car, pay priority 910, 2640 Broadway, across of Scott and Normandy. I have a 14-hour copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. Is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. 12-hour back and copy.
Now, there was some speculation that Paul Pelosi knew his attacker because he told the 911 dispatcher that the attacker's name is David, he's a friend, but apparently he was saying that because the man is mentally deranged, and the man knew he was on the phone talking to somebody, presumably even talking to 911, and he wanted the man not to be angry and not to attack Paul Pelosi even more than he already had or already intended to. So it's not true, apparently, that Paul Pelosi knew the attacker. But that has not stopped a whole bunch of people on the left from saying the reason for the attack is because of the violent political rhetoric, largely because of you-know-who, President 45. Here is NBC's Bill Collins.
It simply does not matter. The problem is people keep egging these people on. There are people on the television across the street from us that egg these people on, talking about cabals and stuff and people secretly running the world. And this guy doesn't like women either. So that's happening right now. And then on top of it, you have political figures. You have the previous president of the United States, posting about QAnon on his social media platforms, which is just about this same cabal that this guy's talking about. So, look, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because right now there are people advocating for these conspiracy theories out there.
It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's Trump's fault. Here is the Young Turks.
We have to understand that, this attack was most likely done because of that rhetoric being spread. Like, that's my prediction, is that we're going to find out that this was someone with very far right motivations and someone who follows people like Tucker Carlson, like Ben Shapiro, like Matt Walsh. That's my prediction here.
He also, by the way, follows the Epic Times, and you know how radical we are. By the way, no mention about Maxine Waters. Remember when Maxine Waters says, when you see a Trump cabinet member, surround them. Let them know they're not welcome anywhere anymore. Remember that? Remember Chuck Schumer in front of the Supreme Court yelling at Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch, you will reap the whirlwind if you come down with these decisions. Anybody talk about that hateful political rhetoric? And here you have, of course, CNN's Jake Tapper.
This horrifying act of violence today, I wish I could tell you it was an outlier. It's not. It is the inevitable product of a poisonous political climate where unchecked lies and hate-filled, dehumanizing rhetoric combine to create a perfect storm of political violence.
Unchecked lies. You mean like Donald Trump saying the election for 2020 was but we don't talk about how Hillary's been saying it for years, referring to Donald Trump as illegitimate, referring to the election in 2020 as having been Let's not go there. Let's not go to the January 6th committee chairman, Benny Thompson, who in January of 2005 joined 30 other Democrats and Barbara Boxer with the approval of Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton to try to overturn the results in Ohio, claiming without any evidence whatsoever that the Diebold voting machines had been hacked. Let's not go there. Now, I'm holding in my baby brown libertarian fingers a pair, not just one shoe, but a pair of the MYPILLOW My Slippers. They are soft. They are luxuriant. And if you don't like this style, and I can't imagine that you wouldn't, they've got different styles. So you can call the number on the screen, or you could go to MyPillow.com and be sure and use promo code ELDER. Whoa! What do they have here? This is a MyPillow. A MyPillow. Not to be redundant, but it's a MyPillow. Although it's not your pillow, it's my pillow. You have to get your own pillow, and you can do so by calling the number on your screen or by going to MyPillow.com and using promo code ELDER. They come in different sizes. And finally, what else do I have here? And I have a MyPillow Giza Dream Sheet, and now I'm holding up higher because I've gotten complaints from viewers saying, Larry, you're holding it too low. When you hold it too low, I can't see it. So I don't expect you to have x-ray vision. MyPillow Giza Dream Bed Sheets. Mine, of course, comes into white because I am the black face of white supremacy. What other color would I get? But you might want to get different colors and in different sizes. Queen size, king size, California king size, made with the finest cotton in the world in an area of Egypt. MyPillow.com, promo code ELDER, or call the number on the screen. I will be right back. Barack Obama weighed in on his good friend, Paul Pelosi.
And I want to take a moment just to say a prayer for a friend of mine, Mr. Paul Pelosi.
Notice when Obama is talking to an audience in places like Georgia, all of a sudden he's a friend of mine. I want to talk about my friend of mine, Paul. This is a guy who grew up in Hawaii, by the way, with his white mother and his maternal grandparents who were white. But he's Malcolm X. He's Spike Lee. He's Jesse Jackson. He's Al Sharpton. Can I hear that from the beginning again, folks?
And I want to take a moment just to say a prayer for a friend of mine.
I want to take a moment, take a prayer for a friend of mine.
Mr. Paul Pelosi, who was attacked. A politics where some in office or who aspire to office work to stir up division, to make folks as angry and as afraid of one another for their own advantage.
Work to stir up division, make people afraid of each other for their own advantage, says a guy who says racism is in our DNA. Says a guy who said the Cambridge police acted stupidly. Says a guy who embraced Black Lives Matter, invited the Reverend Al Sharpton, the American's preeminent race card hustler, into the White House over 70 times. Said if I had a son, he looked like Trayvon. Some people, he says, use rhetoric trying to stir up things, make them angry at people. And you remember all of his anti-cop rhetoric? Gave a speech before the United Nations and invoked Ferguson. Ferguson was a lie. Michael Brown did not say, hands up, don't shoot. And Michael Brown's DNA was found on the cop's gun, indicating that Michael Brown was attempting to seize said gun. But still, Obama gave an address before the United Nations and said, we got our own problems. There's a place called Ferguson. The cop was completely exonerated, by the way. And at the latter part of Obama's second term, there were 2 New York cops killed execution style as they sat in their squad cars. There were 3 Baton Rouge cops killed execution style. There were 5 Dallas cops killed execution style, all by 3 different black men who had either told friends or posted on social media of their hatred towards cops because they bought this lie of systemic racism. And where was Obama's indignation when his former VP and President Joe Biden said that half of the country believed in semi-fascism? And by the way, all this stuff about this attacker belonging to right-wing conspiracy theories and QAnon and this, that, and the other. According to the Jewish Voice, the FBI visited the Berkeley home linked to this man. Neighbors called it a hippie collective. There was a photo outside the house revealing several left-leaning sign causes, including an American flag with rainbow colors and marijuana leaves. A handwritten Black Lives Matter sign was seen hanging from one of the home's windows. So, a deranged right-wing guy with an American flag with the rainbow colors and a handwritten Black Lives Matter, maybe, just maybe, it might be a little more complicated than that. Now, after I found that Paul Pelosi was going to make a complete recovery, I wouldn't have tweeted this if I had not known that. I said, poor Paul Pelosi. First, he's busted for DUI, and then he gets attacked in his home. Hammered twice in 6 months. Come on, he's going to be fine. And I made a little joke. Mehdi Hassan, who is one of the hosts on MSNBC, tweeted in reaction to what I tweeted, "This is the modern GOP." Whoa. This man is on a network that is the most hateful cable network in America. I'm referring, of course, to MSNBC, which I watch, so you don't have to. They've got Joy Reid, who's always talking about white fascists, white racists. Tiffany Cross, always talking about white fascists, white racists, and denouncing anybody black who's conservative. And then you've got the lying Tawana Brawley, race card hustling, Crown Heights incendiary, Freddie's Fashion Mart incendiary, No Justice, No Peace, Duke Lacrosse lying incendiary, Al Sharpton. By contrast, MSNBC makes CNN look fair and balanced. And this guy is coming down on the great Oldersky. This is the modern GOP, he says. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Joe Biden claiming that gas prices were around $5 a gallon when he was president. Actually, it was half that. You know how he whispers when he wants to make a big point? Actually, he was half that. Don't go away. Hope you enjoyed that video. The full show is available to watch right now on Epoch TV. Just click the link in the description below to learn more, because we've got a country to save.